Hello students, we shall be discussing about water quality standards today. I am Dr. F. A. Lone, Professor Division of Environmental Sciences, West Kashmir. All we know is that we need safe and wholesome water for the better health, and the water which we should take, it should be free from harmful chemical substances, it should be free from pathogenic agents, it should have a pleasant taste, pleasant color and pleasant odor, and it should be usable for all domestic purposes. As far as the significance of water quality standards are concerned, these are the standards which aim at providing potable and palatable drinking water to reduce waterborne diseases and foster healthy living. Briefly, the purpose of having drinking water quality standards and guidelines is to ensure that all human beings within a country have access to safe drinking water. As far as the definition of the water quality standard is concerned, water quality standards refer to mandated or authorized conditions that drinking and recreational water must achieve to be judged acceptable for use. And these standards usually have two values. One is called as the guided level, that means it is an acceptable limit, and the other is also called as maximum admissible concentration or maximum permissible limit. And these acceptable limits are the values that are considered satisfactory and constitute a target value, while as the maximum permissible limits are the values that the corresponding concentration in the distributed water must not exceed. As far as the question may be asked, is all these water quality standards universal? The Despite the truth that every human on this planet needs drinking water to survive, that water may contain many harmful constituents, and there are no universally recognized and accepted international standards for drinking water. Even where standards do exist and are applied, the permitted concentration of individuals' constituents may vary by as much as 10 times from one set of standards to another set of standards. Many developed countries specify standards to be applied in their own country. Say, for example, China, they have adopted their own water quality standards enacted by their Ministry of Environmental Protection in 2002. Similarly, in Europe, there is the European Drinking Water Quality Directives, and in US, the United States Environmental Protection Agency (EPA), they have established their own standards as required by the Safe Drinking Water Act. And for countries where, without a legislative or administrative framework, the standards have been guided by the World Health Organization. And in India, we have got our own standards as set by the Bureau of Indian Standards, and these are being basically monitored by the Central Pollution Control Board, or you can say CPCB. And what type of the parameters are usually being taken while we measure the water quality standards? There are three types of the water quality parameters. One is the physical parameter. In the physical parameter, we take taste, color, and turbidity into consideration. Then we have got chemical parameters where we analyze alkalinity, hardness, and the concentration of different cations and anions. And similarly, we also take biological parameters into consideration while looking for the standards. And in this biological, we take total coliform counts. In this, we see what is the concentration of the bacteria like Citrobacter, Enterobacter, Escherichia, Hepnia, Calabacilla, Serratia, and Yersinia. So these are basically the standards which have been given by the Bureau of Indian Standards, monitored by the Central Pollution Control Board, and you will find that there are different types of the parameters, and for all the parameters, two values are given. One is called as the acceptable limit, another is called as the permissible limit. As far as the acceptable limit is concerned, for example, we have got different values for color. Acceptable value for the color is 5 Hazen units, while as its permissible maximum permissible limit is 15. Similarly, we have got odor for pH, for turbidity, TDS. Then general parameters where we take aluminum, ammonia, anionic detergents, barium, boron, and similarly calcium, chloramines, chlorides, copper, fluorides, free residual chlorine, iron, magnesium, manganese, mineral oil, nitrates, phenolic compounds, selenium, silver, sulfate, sulfides, total alkalinity as calcium carbonate, total hardness as calcium carbonate. Then we take zinc And then there are so many toxic substances, heavy metals like cadmium, cyanide, lead, mercury, molybdenum, nickel, and then also you'll find some radioactive substances also. Then bacteriological quality also we measure while determining the water quality standard of the particular water. And similarly, we also assess the pesticide residue limits to see that whether the water may not contain the pesticides like alchlor, atrazine, butachlor, chloropyrifos, indosulfan, malathion, and other type of the chemicals, and the safe limits are given. And if the concentration is beyond that, that means the water is polluted. Similarly, the CPCB has given also the designated best use water quality criteria. They have classified water into 5 categories. One is called as class A category of water, then similarly B class water, C class water, D class water, as well as the E class water. And they have given that if, for example, the class of the water is A, and that water it's fit for drinking, it's a good water source without conventional treatment, but after disinfection. Similarly, if the class of water is B, that means it's used for outdoor bathing. And similarly, if the water is C quality, it can be used for drinking water source after conventional treatment and disinfection. And D water means propagation of wildlife and fisheries. And for E water, the water is being used for irrigation and other industrial coolings. Similarly, they have given the criteria separately for all the classes. For example, if the class, if the water class is A, and in this water class you will have the total coliform organisms, it should be less than 50 in 100 ml. Similarly, pH should be from 6.5 and 8.5. Dissolved oxygen should not be more than 6 milligram per liter, and biological oxygen demand should be 2 milligrams per liter. And all the parameters have been given, and all the parameters for all the class is given. And just have a look, and you can just see that how these designated best use water quality criteria has been given by the Central Pollution Control Board. And similarly, there are the different water quality standards by different countries. And this slide shows that WHO, European Union, Australia, US, Canada, they have separately given their standards for their own countries. And there are n number of the chemicals they have given here in this slide, that you can see that these are all basically the acceptable limits. Say, for example, dichloroethylene, it should not be 0.003 as per the WHO standard is concerned. Similarly, if you take 2,4-D, it should not be 0.03, and similarly, all these chemicals are given here. Barium is there, benzene, boron, carbofuran, and dichloromethane. Then similarly, you can find that fluoride is there, lead is there, mercury is there. So nitrate is also there, parathion is also there, and toluene is also there, uranium is also there. So many chemicals are given, and these are all the acceptable limits as have been given by different countries as far their water quality standards are concerned. Thank you, students, for watching this video. All the best. Take care.